All right, we're going
Good
on.
morning, Can You Survive? We are here on morning 4 of Can You Survive District 13. And once again, we are starting out at a tribal council. This one's a little special because for the first time, you're going to be seeing all of the players left in the game at the same tribal council because it is the merge-ish vote. That's right, we are doing Murgatory. So
All right, tributes, come on in.
in they come, everyone hoping to make the merge. And actually, I lied. Not all of the people are here, but more on that at tea time. All right, let's see who is filing on in for this very first vote of the day. We have Raul, Jess, Aldrian, Lindsay, Rede, Phil, Leo, Cod, and Francesca.
We have that seat? Yep.
Oh, great.
Perfect. First challenge of the day, finding your seat.
Yeah, come on. Actually, like that.
All right.
Phone too.
Welcome, tributes to Tribal Council. Seeing some of you for the first time. Raul, can you talk to me a little bit about, let's start on a light note, talk to me a little bit about the feast last night and just coming together as a big group and how that experience was for you all.
That was good. Especially as someone that did awful in the challenge, and other people got the food for me. Eating the food after, like, we've been doing like 2 to 3 scoops of rice, like at any given moment, and to have like slices of pizza, like egg rolls, there was a quesadillas. Like it was great. It was a good way. This game has been tough. And we've been in so many weird little pockets and things. So to be together, just like there was no real game talk yesterday. It was kind of just vibes and eating and just enjoying
Setting up the second tarp.
Yeah, it's setting up the second tarp, which is stressful. But just kind of enjoying what we've done so far in this game and just kind of reflecting on what we've done and celebrating.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Rede, so Raul claims no strategy talk last night. How early are people up this morning really getting ready for today's vote? And, did the tone change as soon as kind of the sun came out?
I think it happened gradually. I think like it wasn't like people woke up and it's like, all right, let's go talk. Like we got up, we were all together. Eventually, we had to have conversations that we needed to have. But it didn't feel obviously stressful. It's always gonna be stressful, but I don't know. I think it's just a testament to like what like this group is like and how well we gel and having last night and going through a reward and eating for the first time, eating like a feast for the first time while it's raining together. Like it was good vibes and like I don't know, it happened gradually.
Yeah. I mean, so it sounds like you've all bonded really well together. Aldrin, obviously the merge is such a huge, momentous kind of feather in everyone's cap. Being so bonded together, how much harder does that make this vote, knowing that you are, preventing someone from potentially, reaching their dream?
It's really hard. I mean, all the intermingling in between when we won challenges with the safe members of the other tribe, and you really got to get to know everyone. And so I feel like everyone has a connection with everyone, a different connection, some deeper than others. So when you're hearing names, it's definitely hard because you don't really know what everyone's relationship is until we all get together. So finally being in the same space all at once was really eye-opening in that way.
Yeah. Speaking of not necessarily knowing relationships, we, in a very surprising manner, have two folks here that have never even been to a tribal council. Phil, talk to me about how much you were trying to play catch up, not being able to kind of have that, fire, trust with everyone that has gone through tribal with you.
Yeah. I don't know if many people who play games like this can say that half of the tribe mates are gone and you haven't even gone to tribal council. So that's a very weird feeling whenever a lot of this game is like agency with other players by proving trust. And a lot of that proof comes through voting. And so not having a chance to even vote yet is hard. So I think a lot of my time today has been setting some bounds with people to say, hey, I am with you. Let me like show allegiance. Here's where we're gonna vote. And so I'm excited to actually get a chance to do that now.
Yeah, I mean, Francesca, similar question to you. You know, you haven't had a chance to build these bonds. The other flip side of not, coming to tribal is that the implication is you were winning challenges. Do you feel like not coming to tribal has put even bigger target on your back because of those challenge victories?
Yeah, probably. I think so. I do think that like the social strategic game is more important than like challenge threats. Especially at this stage of the merge, there's so many people still that you really want people that you can trust and vote with. So that's my hope that the people that I'm working with like see that value in me and Phil, since we were all pulling all winning challenges, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so Francesca seems to think that maybe, it's not about a challenge threat or something like that. Leo, what does make a threat to you in the game at this point? What is someone that you would want to eliminate?
Yeah, I think that there's a couple of different ways to think about this, right? I mean, one, there's like you have your apparent threats, you have your, we're all fans of the show, so we have the folks who kind of float by a bit. So I think everybody can be marked as a threat from whatever angle you want. If you want to find something, you can find it. And so I think that the idea of like targeting threats and identifying threats and kicking threats out, I just don't know if I like wholeheartedly agree with that. In the spirit of like not wholeheartedly agreeing with things, I don't think you necessarily need to come to tribal to build trust. I think that you can build and establish trust outside of tribal. I think need tribal to solidify, but I think you can absolutely build and establish trust outside of tribal. So I think that Francesca and Phil haven't had an opportunity to maybe solidify, but that doesn't mean that they haven't had an opportunity to establish and build.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Well heard. On the flip side of Phil and Francesca, we have Lindsay and Jess, who have gone to many tribal councils. Jess, I mean, talk to me about how the group received you. Obviously, you guys have gone through a lot. You've been here. Did you feel like that was an advantage? You could bring information to the group here, or did they feel like, potentially, they were looking at you as a pair?
Yeah, I think it's natural for people to, you know, look at a pair who's gone through what Lindsay and I went through yesterday and mark that. I think duos have been a theme since the beginning of the game, and so it's interesting to see as it progresses. Like we started with our tribute duos, and now I feel like a lot of the talk at camp is who's a duo, who's a duo, who's a duo. But ultimately, everyone received us really, really kindly at the endurance challenge. Like every conversation was just like, "How are you doing? You've had an insane day," and I just really appreciated that people seemed concerned for my like well-being. And I know that that's also maybe a strategic thing, but I feel like I don't know. There's some sort of like vibe within our group that's just like obviously we're playing a game, but there's just a lot of underlying respect and care there, and that definitely came through yesterday and today.
Good. I'm glad to hear that from this group. Lindsay, speaking of duos, there's a handful of folks now that we've entered into the individual portion that do still have their district partner in the game sitting next to yours right now. Do you feel like that's something that, was discussed a lot, is who still has their district partner? Do we split them up? Are they, combined vote or something like that?
Yeah, it's been interesting because obviously like during that challenge day, like bonds and relationships were formed with your district partner, but it's also feels like it's been so long since that day. So certain district partners like literally haven't seen each other in like 48 hours, and so much can change in those 48 hours. So we've had to like really reconnect and be like, wait, where do you stand with your partner? Who is your partner again? Because it almost feels like it almost feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, definitely. Cod, how do you go about balancing all the different levels of relationships? Like we've talked about district partners, we've talked about the voting groups that have gone to tribal council together. You have the people that sit back at camp that haven't gone together. How do you try to figure out, who has spent time with who and try to navigate who has relationships with who?
I think it's like I don't know. I think it's like both strategic and social. Like I think We want to like stay at camp with people that we like, and then it's cool if those people also like agree on like strategic stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
Well said.
I'll accept it. I know you've had a lot of time to think about this vote. We gave you all night. The merge is at stake. I have 8 buffs here for the survivors of this tribal council. Unless anyone else has anything to say, we'll get to the vote and see who gets these. All right, let's get to the vote. We'll start with you, Francesca.
All right, and away we go to tea time. I'm sure you are dying to hear about all of our players and what they're thinking and what they're up to. And good news, I have the intel on all of them. So I'm heading on over to a chair and I'm going to fill you in. So before we get into, okay, yeah. All right, sorry. So, and just a reminder, when Cam was talking about, oh, I have 8 buffs. So this is an earn the merge situation. They are not totally at the quote unquote merge yesterday. I would just like to inform y'all that the chair that I just sat in had a huge puddle in it that I didn't know about. What a shock. All right. But it kind of feels like I'm sitting in a little like waiting pool, and wow, that's really nice. Okay. So let's get into it. The Mergatory famed vote. But you know what? Who we didn't see at this merge vote was Kieran, Nick, and Patch, who all won immunity at the challenge last night. They are actually all back at camp having a little kiki and strategy session. So we have Kieran over there, who this round wasn't trying to influence the vote at all, really feels good about everyone left in the game, except for perhaps Cod, who she wants to target, but not trying to influence the vote this round because, again, she's not there. Patch, the other person over there right now, was approached by Leo earlier this round about a potential 5 in the future of Leo, Patch, Cod, Lindsay, and Jess. But Patch called out to Leo that he'd be at the bottom of that grouping because everyone else in it is an original Goddard tribe person. So he said that they would enter into negotiations, Patch and Leo, to see who the 5 would actually be that wouldn't put him at such a disadvantage. And he also really is appreciating his former swapped Goddard tribe people of Kieran, Nick, and Raul because they all teamed up with him to target Gideon, which was his plan. Also, you should know, Patch has an extra vote that he found in the pizza box last night when they were doing their merge feast. And Patch also has found an idol. So Patch has a lot going on, but none of it will come into play in this tribal council. Nick, the third person over there back at camp, was really excited to do a huge strategy sesh, an info dump with Kieran and Patch during this tribal council when they have a little bit of privacy. He feels, those are like 2 of the people he feels the best with. And he also feels really good with Aldrian, Lindsay, and Jess. He does not really want to go by original tribal lines going into this merge situation. He thinks that, there's more going on in the game than that. And so in the future, he's looking to not have them be so, rigid. And this round, he's hoping that either Fran or Phil or Raul gets targeted. However, unfortunately for him, it looks like tribal lines are super coming into play today. According to Leo, the Goddard 5, which are Lindsay, Leo, Cod, Jess, and Rede, want to come together and target Raul and do a decoy vote on Phil in case Nick gives his idol, which he has, to Raul since they're so close. And then Leo hopes to pull Phil and Francesca into a group in the future. Well, you say there's only 5, but there's only 5 Goddard, but there's 7 original Caribou. Well, Jess has done some survivor math and realized that the 7 original Caribou have 3 of their members sitting back at camp right now, which means there are only 4 of them here at this tribal. So 5 Goddard is greater than 4 Caribou. So again, the OG Caribou want to kind of come together and potentially take out a big threat in Raoul. So why Raoul? Well, Raoul was caught in a little bit of a lie. He was showing a quote unquote idol to everyone, but Jess was like, I feel like that's a fake idol. It doesn't look legit because Cod also has an idol, and they showed it to Jess and it looked way more real. And yes, Cod does, in fact, we can confirm that Cod has an idol. So they're very happy about that. They're very sad that they stayed in the challenge so long because now their feet hurt. They're also sad that Raoul is potentially the target being landed upon, but knows it's the right move, even though they really like Raoul. And they're telling Raoul it's a split between Phil and Francesca. Moving on over to Rede, another member of the Goddard Five. Uh, Not only does he want to target Raoul because of that fake idol situation, or target Phil, or he also wants to target Fran because she is a threat in this game, and everyone has collectively said they're pretty scared of her. Speaking of being scared, Lindsay noticed last night at the merge challenge that a lot of people were going off to talk to each other instead of just enjoying it and cheering everyone on. And she thinks that means that there's a lot of paranoia that people don't trust their relationship. So they're feeling like they have to like talk and firm up. She noticed last night some people went to bed thinking Francesca's the easy vote, but she wasn't sure that she wanted to just go along with easy. She wanted to maybe take advantage of the numbers in her favor for this round because the odds are in the Goddard favor. Let's see. So speaking of odds in their favor, Phil had the best odds of not going home because he has never been to a tribal council until this morning. And he also has the 50-50 fundraising advantage that he could use at any time to try and stay in this game. Phil has used an interesting litmus test over the course of not going to tribals and has noticed that Aldrian, Nick, Jess, and Leo still come up to talk to him every round, even though he's not involved in the strategy. So he feels like he's very close to them. And he knows his name is out there, but he's not too worried about it this round. He's keeping it cool. Raoul, I think, keeping it a little less cool. He is worried about Phil's 50-50 advantage. And he's hoping, and also he's not feeling cool because his entire swap tribe of Goddard is immune and not with him. So he's the only one left in this tribal. However, he does want to pull in Lindsay, Jess, and Phil and target Francesca. And he's also grateful to his OG tribe of Last Tribal Council for cutting Gideon because he didn't want to go into the merge as looking like a strong 3 with Nick, Raoul, and Gideon. Let's see here. We are almost done. 2 more to go. So Aldrian, her mains are also all immune in Nick, Patch, and Kieran. So she feels this round like she's playing other people's games right now. She wants to target Francesca, but is kind of caught between, do I push my agenda or do I go along with the plan of Jess, Lindsay, and Cod to target Raoul because they want to work with her in the future, although she knows that they have a different agenda than she does. And last but not least, Francesca feels really good with everyone here. She does have a secret alliance with Nick, but Francesca has no idea that her name is out there. Although she does have an extra vote that she found last night, but I do not know if she's going to use it or not because she doesn't know her name is there. So this might be a hashtag Survivor Blindside. Let's go on back to Tribal and find out. Looks like Cam is off tallying the votes and we are beating him back to tribal. So go team tea time. And let's take a look at our lovely players that are just waiting in silence for the vote reveal. So we have Francesca, Jess, Raul, Ride, Aldrian, Leo, Lindsay, Cod, and Phil.
Hi, January. Hi, kids. Hi, friends. Can we not say?
You can do shout outs.
That's fine. Hi, Ben. Hi, Maxine.
Hi, Mom, Dad.
Hi, Miles. Hi, Zoe.
All my friends watching. If you're any real. Yeah, literally. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's.
I'm actually just talking to myself over here.
All right. If anybody has an idle or an advantage and would like to play one, now would be the time to do so. All right, I'll get to the votes. First vote, Francesca. Second vote, Jess. Third vote, Raul. That's one vote, Jess, one vote, Francesca, one vote, Raul. Fourth vote, Francesca. Next vote, Raul. That's two each. Next vote, Raul. That's three. Next vote, Raul. That's four. Next vote, Raul. That's five. And the next person voted out of Can You Survive District 13, Raul, that's six. That's enough. Raul, the tributes have spoken. Every time I forget. All right. And the good news is that you have all officially made the around. We'll have you head back to camp and meet the rest of your merge tribe before we call you out for your first individual immunity challenge. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations to our merge tribe. Congratulations to the final 11 players. And as you heard Cam, the game is now transitioning from tribe to individual. So we are now kicking off the individual portion of the game, and you will at the next tribal council see all of the players there. So get excited. You're about to have a great day out here at CYS, and we hope that you keep it locked here all day long. Congratulations again. This is such an exciting moment, and I'm excited to see everyone face off against each other. We got a little taste of that last night at the Murgatory Challenge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing these players emerge and show their true strengths, because this is the time to dial it up. All right, we will see you very soon. I believe actually, the next challenge, easy to set up, but will take a little while. So get excited. It's going to be a juicy challenge, and that is all I will say. But you will definitely not want to miss it.